Imagine waking up one morning to a news which says that a single space rock holds unimaginable metal wealth. This rock floats quietly between Mars and Jupiter. It is unnoticed, yet potentially richer than Earth. This is not science fiction or fantasy, but a real estimate from serious studies. Those studies transformed a cold asteroid belt into the hottest frontier for money. They also turned it into a new arena for power, influence, and global competition. Here is the twist that truly matters for investors, founders, and long-term thinkers. None of that estimated wealth appears on balance sheets, exchanges, or sovereign funds. No government fully controls it, and no company can yet claim it. We are in the pre-oil phase of a possible space resources boom. This is the moment before the first wells are drilled in history. It is the moment before trillion-dollar winners and losers clearly emerge. In this video, we explore the race to mine asteroids for metals and fuel. We also examine what it means for future wealth and global power. It may even matter for how you think about your portfolio. Stay with me because this story includes crazy numbers and bold promises. It also includes painful failures and quiet players already shaping the rules. To understand the excitement, we must start with a simple but shocking idea. The solar system contains materials that currently choke supply chains on Earth. These include platinum group metals, rare elements, nickel, cobalt, and water ice. All of these are packaged inside objects small enough to capture, yet they are massive enough to reshape markets and industries. Consider a small stony asteroid, the size of a modest office building. Researchers estimate it could contain over 500,000 kilograms of metal. That includes meaningful amounts of platinum and gold. This concentration is what miners dream about on Earth. It avoids blasting forests, digging pits, or pumping toxic groundwater. Then there are celebrity asteroids that spark pure gold rush energy. One famous example is the metal-rich asteroid called 16 Psyche. Early studies valued it at quintillions of dollars using current metal prices. Economists say that number is more thought experiment than realistic forecast. Flooding markets with that much metal would crash prices instantly. Still, the key message remains extremely important. Even tiny fractions could be worth staggering sums if returned carefully. Now, let us ask a calmer and more practical question. How large could the asteroid mining business realistically become? Market research groups already project billions in potential value. This would occur over the coming decade in early stages. These revenues focus on services rather than massive metal returns. They include prospecting, data services, robotics, and in-space support. Here is an overlooked angle that matters deeply for serious investors. The first real profits may not involve selling metals on Earth. Many analysts believe water mining offers the earliest viable business case. Asteroid water can be turned into rocket fuel in orbit. This allows spacecraft to refuel without launching everything from Earth. Water splits into hydrogen and oxygen, both excellent propellants. This creates an in-space supply chain that never touches the ground. It sounds boring compared to gold headlines, but boring often pays bills. Importantly, space mining is not starting from zero experience. Space agencies have already performed real asteroid sample return missions. NASA visited asteroid Bennu and brought samples back to Earth. That mission cost over $1 billion for minimal material. Japan's Hayabusa missions achieved similar technical demonstrations. They tested navigation, landing, and remote collection in space. As mining projects, these missions look absurdly expensive. As proof of concept, they are incredibly valuable. Private companies also entered the story with dramatic ambition. Two startups once promised bold plans to mine asteroids commercially. They attracted famous investors and widespread media attention. They envisioned telescopes, robotic miners, and rich space returns. Reality proved harsher than their glossy presentations suggested. Funding dried up, timelines slipped, and revenues remained distant. Both companies eventually pivoted, dissolved, or were absorbed elsewhere. Does this mean asteroid mining is just recurring hype? Not exactly, because those failures refined the narrative. They forced investors to demand more realistic roadmaps. Today's serious teams focus on step-by-step progress. They emphasize mapping, testing extraction, and gradual scaling. Serving customers in space comes before selling anything on Earth. Reusable heavy rockets now change the entire economic equation. Every viable model depends on dramatically lower launch costs. Mining only works if transport costs fall below payload value. Reusable heavy vehicles promise to slash per kilogram launch expenses. They enable sending equipment and returning materials far more cheaply. Analysts illustrate this with simple economic thought experiments. Imagine a reusable rocket costing tens of millions per flight. It carries dozens of tons to deep space and back. Even small high-value payloads could justify such missions. Price drops and failures complicate reality, but ratios are improving. Now we must address ownership, something governments deeply care about. International treaties forbid national sovereignty over celestial bodies. No country can officially claim an asteroid as territory. However, newer laws quietly open another legal door. They allow ownership of extracted resources, not the asteroid itself. This mirrors fishing rights in international waters on Earth. Some countries passed detailed laws supporting private space mining. They offer legal clarity, oversight, and recognition of extracted materials. These laws act like early mining codes during historical gold rushes. They give early movers confidence to invest capital. This transforms space mining into a geopolitical competition. Strategic control over resources has always shaped global power. In space, fuel depots and metals could offer similar leverage. Governments therefore treat this as more than a market experiment. From an investor perspective, caution is still essential. The technology remains early and timelines stretch across decades. One useful approach is thinking in enabling layers. Asteroid mining is not one sector but an entire stack. At the base lies launch and in-orbit logistics. Above that sit sensing, mapping, and asteroid characterization services. Next come robotics and autonomous extraction systems. Then follow in space manufacturing and refueling markets. Each layer de-risks the next in sequence. This reframes asteroid wealth as infrastructure, not lottery tickets. For serious investors, enabling technologies matter most today. There are also darker implications worth acknowledging honestly. Large-scale mining could disrupt terrestrial commodity markets. Prices for metals like platinum or nickel could face pressure. At the same time, cheaper metals could accelerate clean technologies. Environmental trade-offs also deserve careful examination. Space mining might reduce Earth-side ecological damage in theory. Yet, heavy rocket emissions complicate the environmental balance. The net impact depends on future transport efficiency. Another twist is how quietly this transformation may occur. Early asteroid resources might never return to Earth directly. They could support satellites and factories entirely in orbit. Value would be created without passing through customs offices. This still reshapes power and capability beyond Earth. Today, we are in the groundwork and demonstration phase. Core technologies exist, but full commercial mines do not. Think of this as surveying railways before laying tracks. Most experts project decades before major terrestrial market impact. Historically, that timeline is fast for infrastructure revolutions. Short-term investors may misread patience as failure. Patient capital may quietly position itself for future gains. The key takeaway is that scarcity depends on access and technology. These resources always existed but were economically unreachable. Law, technology, and finance now evolve together tightly. Small legal changes can unlock massive economic potential. The real game is already underway beneath the hype. Numbers often matter more than gold in early rushes. Finally, will ordinary investors ever get real access? Early waves favor governments and large industrial players. Later layers often open opportunities to broader markets. History suggests infrastructure creates many unexpected entry points. So when you look at the night sky, remember this. Asteroids are already tracked, modeled, and valued quietly. This race is a long relay, not a quick sprint. Scientists, engineers, lawmakers, and financiers all carry batons. The value is real, but execution determines outcomes. Watch launch costs, legal frameworks, and autonomous capabilities closely. Those three curves reveal when hype becomes history